Exposed. Left off the wedding guest list. I discovered an amazing vacation that changed my life. Jessie's heart sank as she scrolled through the lavish wedding invitation photo that had just popped up on her phone. The shimmering gold and ivory design felt like a dagger in her chest. Her sister's wedding, a celebration of love and family, was just weeks away. And there it was, an empty seat where her name should have been. She clutched the edge of the table, feeling the sting of exclusion wash over her. For so long, she had toiled as a waitress in the bustling diner just off Main Street, always hopeful that one day she'd have something worthy to offer. But now, left off the guest list, she was swiftly reminded that in her family's eyes, she seemed to pale against the backdrop of her sister's glittering life. With her spirited 5-year-old son, Ben, perched on the counter munching a cookie, Jessie forced a smile. Kids had a way of brightening the darkest days, but as she watched Ben's innocence shine through, her heart ached with the weight of her own unfulfilled dreams. She grabbed her keys and, without thinking, decided to escape. The open road beckoned to her like an old friend. Naomi Springs, a small town full of promise and warmth, felt like the perfect getaway as she drove. The rhythm of the tires against asphalt matched her racing thoughts. Maybe I can find a place where I belong, she whispered to herself. Jessie pulled into the simple, welcoming town square of Naomi Springs, her heart fluttering with both excitement and uncertainty. The air was different here, carrying scents of baked bread mixed with the essence of fresh pine. She wandered through the streets and stumbled upon local artisans proudly displaying not just their crafts, but their stories, tales of resilience, sorrow, and triumph that melted her heart. One elderly woman handed Jessie a hand-knitted scarf and said, "You know, dear, it takes courage to find joy in a world that tries to define you." At that moment, Jessie felt a flicker of hope. She participated in community events, each encounter revealing a new layer of herself, one that wasn't riddled with feelings of inadequacy or jealousy. Laughter filled her lungs, and for the first time in a long while, she felt the weight of the world waning. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Just as Jessie dared to think she found a place of belonging, a phone call shattered her newfound peace. Ben's school needed her back home. His teacher had fallen ill. The thought of leaving the warm embrace of Naomi Springs crushed her. But family called, and Jessie returned to the bustling suburb, a knot twisting in her stomach. She wasn't just entering her family home. She was stepping into a battlefield of unspoken words, where emotions were a swell tide ready to break. At the wedding, anger and resentment swirled. As their eyes met across the room, Jessie gathered her courage to speak up. But just then, her phone buzzed with a message from the inviting charm of Naomi Springs, teasing her with the possibility of a community project that could be life-changing. Torn between familial ties and a journey of self-discovery, Jessie stood at a crossroads, her heart caught between loyalty and the urgent need to reclaim her worth in a world that finally saw her. What would she choose, and would it bring her family closer or push them further apart? Jessie stood frozen for a moment, her heart pounding in her chest. She could feel the weight of her family's expectations pressing down on her, suffocating. Her sister Radiance and her soon-to-be husband glided through the crowd, basking in joy, oblivious to the storm brewing within Jessie. It felt absurd to crave this moment when she had so much pent-up anger. "Jess?" Ben's small voice broke through her thoughts, pulling her back to reality. He tugged at her sleeves, his eyes wide with confusion. "Why aren't you smiling?" She knelt down to his level, forcing a smile that felt more like a mask. "Oh honey, Mama is just thinking. Can I have a cupcake?" he asked, his innocence a balm for her aching heart. "Sure. Let us find one," she replied, standing up to usher him towards the dessert table. As Ben's delighted squeals filled the air, Jessie realized how important it was for her to put on a brave face for him. The tension around her was palpable. She wanted nothing more than to scream her frustrations. But that wouldn't help either of them. With Ben's hand firmly in hers, they approached the dessert table adorned with an array of sweets. Each colorful cupcake looked more delightful than the last. But as Jessie reached to grab one, she overheard snippets of family conversation behind her, each word like a stab to her already fragile spirit. "Jessie has been so distant lately," one voice said, dripping with concern and pity. "Maybe she just can't handle being around all of us." Another chimed in, the judgment clear. She bit her lip, feeling the familiar sting of being seen as lesser, of being judged for her choices. It felt like being in a cage while they all flitted around like happy birds. But then, just as she felt herself slipping back into that familiar darkness, a thought flickered in her mind, a reminder of the warmth she had felt in Naomi Springs, a place where people embraced her, encouraged her, and even celebrated her. "Jessie," came a bright voice, cutting through her musings. It was her cousin Emily, a whirlwind of energy and enthusiasm, rushing towards her. "I've been looking for you. You've got to come play the wedding game with us." Her eyes sparkled with excitement, and for a moment, Jessie's heart lightened. But even that bubble of hope was immediately followed by doubt. The wedding game? Wasn't that just a clever way to spotlight her absence from the actual festivities? "Thanks, Em." But Jessie hesitated, glancing down at Ben, who looked hopeful. "Did he want to play?" "Please, Mommy," Ben chimed, ever the enthusiastic child. Jessie could see the longing in his eyes. "Okay, let us do it." She took a deep breath, trying to embrace the moment. Perhaps playing the game wouldn't drown her pain, but it might help her connect with Ben. She stepped into the fray, the buzzing of laughter surrounding her. While her heart still felt partitioned as they joined the crowd, Jessie felt the familiar knot of anxiety mingle with an unexpected thread of hope. Maybe, just maybe, there could be a way to bridge the rift between her family and herself. A way to start anew. But within the first few rounds of the game, when the question of what's one thing you want to achieve this year came up, Jessie faltered. The answers around her buzzed with ambition and joy, while she could only think of Naomi Springs and the sturdy confidence she was trying to reclaim. Standing in that moment, she caught her breath, realizing that deep down, she wanted more than just acceptance, she wanted to be empowered. But what if her journey took her down an unexpected path? One that could further divide her from her family. Jessie's heart raced. She needed to make a choice that held the potential to shake everything. Would she dare to follow her heart now? Or would she play it safe and slip back into a role of quiet compliance? Just as she was about to respond, her phone buzzed again. This time with a notification that made her pulse quicken. The community project in Naomi Springs had an opening with a deadline looming. As the laughter of her family rang out, cutting through her thoughts, a fire ignited inside her. Would this moment finally push her to brave the unknown? The question loomed heavily. It was now or never. Jessie took a deep breath, feeling the taste of uncertainty on her tongue. Every voice around her blended into a distant hum. She could only focus on the buzzing of her heart, the echo of her own desires clashing against the expectations surrounding her. Ben was tugging at her hand, his joyful laughter a stark contrast to the turmoil stirring within. "Mommy, my turn," he shouted, his eyes bright with anticipation. "Right, your turn," she whispered, forcing a smile as the game rolled on. The laughter and joy swirled around her like confetti, beautiful yet suffocating. She watched as each player shared their dreams, painting futures filled with success and happiness. How could they seem so certain, so filled with hope? Finally, it was her turn. The spotlight zeroed in, and her throat felt tight. As the question hung in the air like a thick fog, she understood that this moment wasn't about cupcakes or games. It was about laying her soul bare. Feeling the weight of her family's eyes, Jessie opened her mouth to speak. I want to find the courage to pursue what makes me happy, not just what everyone else expects of me." The words tumbled out, shaky but fierce. She couldn't believe she had said it. There was a pause, a shared breath. Then her aunt spoke up. "That sounds nice, dear. But have you thought about what it means for your future? For Ben?" Every fiber of Jessie's being wanted to scream. Yes, she had thought about it. Every day. But what about her future? Wasn't it hers to define? The mother in her protested, what if pursuing her dreams meant making Ben's life harder? But the woman in her longed for freedom and self-expression. As if sensing her struggle, Ben beamed up at her. I want you to be happy, Mommy, he declared, his voice cutting through the tension like sunlight. Jessie blinked back tears, the simple honesty in his words filling her with warmth. Maybe the truth of her feelings wasn't just for her. Maybe it was also for him. A realization settled in. Happiness was not just a destination, but a journey, one she could navigate alongside her son. The conversation drifted back to laughter and games, but Jessie remained lost in her thoughts. The community project, the journey back to Naomi Springs, it called to her like an old friend. What if the leap into the unknown offered her not just a chance to reclaim her life, but a gift for Ben too? A giggle broke her reverie. Emily was back, pulling Jessie from her thoughts. Come on, let us get a picture of all of us. As she posed with her family, she felt the lens capturing more than just smiling faces. In this moment, amidst the joy, there was something else brewing inside her, an ember of determination. After the photo session, she whispered to Emily, can you help me brainstorm ideas for that project? I think I might want to throw myself into it. Emily's expression lit up, full of excitement. Absolutely. What do you have in mind? Jessie hesitated, each idea battling for prominence. I want to create something that brings people together, a community gathering, maybe a festival. The thoughts flowed more freely now. As the words poured out, Jessie felt the fear start to dissipate. She was taking a step into her own life, pulling the threads of her aspirations together. This could be the start of something big. Yet, in the back of her mind, a shadow lurked, the fear of disapproval from her family. The fear that this new path might move her further from them instead of closer. She watched as Radiance and her fiancé shared a quiet moment, laughter ringing out like music, a reminder of the vibrant closeness missing from her own heart. Jessie bit her lip, questioning her courage. And just when a plan was forming in her mind, her phone buzzed again. It was a message from her old friend from Naomi Springs. Can you meet? I have something exciting for you. Her heart raced. What could that mean? Was this the opportunity she'd been hoping for, or another pull away from her family? Jessie stood suspended in the moment, the weight of unknown possibilities on the horizon. Would this new chance at life push her towards fulfillment or fracture her already fragile ties? The decision loomed heavy, and Jessie realized it might lead her to discover aspects of herself she hadn't even begun to explore. Jessie stared at her phone, the familiar name on the screen pulling her thoughts in different directions. Donna, her closest friend from high school, had been the one who urged her to pursue her passions. Yet here she was, a reminder of everything she's hesitated to embrace. Should she dive into this new opportunity? Mommy, can we play now? Ben's sweet voice broke through her whirlwind. She glanced at his hopeful face and felt a pang of guilt. Here was her son, brimming with joy, while she wrestled with her choices. Of course, honey, she replied, forcing a smile. Together, they made their way to the yard where others were enjoying the sunshine. Ben raced off to find his friends, leaving Jessie standing by herself, watching the kids play. She took a moment to breathe in the scene around her. Laughter spilled from the swings, and the vibrant colors of their clothes danced under the bright sky. Jessie felt a sense of longing wash over her, an urge to jump into the fun, to let the weight of her thoughts disappear. But in a sea of smiles, she felt adrift. Then her gaze flicked back to her phone. The message awaited, a silent call to adventure. Jessie exhaled slowly, a tender ache warming her chest. It wasn't just about her anymore. Ben's happiness mattered more than anything. What if harnessing her dreams could somehow weave into a tapestry that enveloped him too? Emily popped up beside her, her own excitement spilling over. We should really get started on planning your festival. What if we brainstormed the best ideas right now? Like, something that could highlight Naomi Springs' spirit? Jessie felt a smile creep onto her face. Emily's enthusiasm was infectious. Yes, I think a music festival could really tie it all together. Live bands, food trucks, activities for kids. As she spoke, her fears began to reshape, transforming into possibilities. And maybe a quilt exhibition, showcasing local crafters? Emily added, her eyes glinting. That could really bring people together. Jessie's heart danced at the thought. A quilt exhibition, her own way of weaving the community fabric tighter. Each patch representing a dream, a story, including her own. But then that inner doubt flickered again. What if her family didn't support these plans? Would they think she was being selfish for wanting something more than just being a mother? Before she could spiral, the warmth of Ben's hand clasped around hers again. Mommy, can we go to the slide together? Jessie knelt, looking directly into Ben's eyes. You want me to slide with you, huh? Yes, it'll be fun. He insisted, tugging her toward the playground as she followed. She took a leap of faith, letting the past concerns drift away. Stepping onto the slide, she felt a rush of childhood joy, a burst of laughter erupting from Ben. They flew down together, a beautiful moment of pure exhilaration. The world blurred, worries faded. When they landed at the bottom, Jessie realized life was about these moments, feeling alive and connected. As she breathed in the fresh air, something shifted within her. If happiness was about the journey, maybe she could find a way to create something special for everyone, including herself. Then her phone buzzed again, making her heart skip. It was Donna. I have an idea that might change everything. Let us meet tonight? Her pulse quickened. Could this truly be the turning point? But there was still a part of her that hesitated, wondering what it would mean for her family and her dreams. Jessie stood there, the sun warming her skin, a blend of excitement and apprehension swirling in her chest. What awaited her in this evening meeting? Was it going to lead her to the fulfillment she craved or plunge her further into uncertainty? The moment of choice shadowed over her. A decision could reshape everything. Jessie's heart raced as she finished the slide with Ben, the laughter still echoing in her ears. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the park, but her mind was elsewhere, on the message that buzzed impatiently in her pocket. What could Donna possibly have in mind that might change everything? Mommy, let us go again. Ben called, his voice cracking through her thoughts. All right, buddy. One more time. She flashed him a grin, allowing herself to get swept up in his energy, if only momentarily. As they climbed the steps again, she felt the weight of the world balanced on the edge of that slide. Just a few hours ago, she was lost in a sea of indecision, and now she was here, committed to the simple joy of her son. But that nagging doubt clawed at her thoughts. Could she really balance the dreams she once held with the responsibilities of motherhood? The weight of that choice felt heavier than ever as they slid down once more, their laughter masking her inner turmoil and the blur of the playground. Jessie found herself stealing glances at her phone. Each vibration seemed louder now, a reminder that the world outside pulled at her in different directions. As she pushed Ben on the swing, she felt a flicker of courage light within. What if tonight was the spark she needed to ignite a new path? Mommy! Ben shouted, his face alight with joy. Look at me. He swung higher, every swing a celebration of pure childlike delight. And in that moment, Jessie noticed something. The pride in his eyes, the joy on his face, it was infectious. This was what she wanted for him, to embrace all his possibilities. Why couldn't she do the same? When they finally sat down on a picnic blanket for a snack, Ben munched contentedly on his sandwich, a crumb escaping his little mouth as he talked endlessly about the slide and the new tricks he wanted to try. Jessie watched him, heart swelling. She wanted to mirror this joy in her own life, a passion ignited. Just then, Emily popped her head into the blanket circle. Hey, you two. How's the festival planning going? Jessie smiled, feeling a comfort in Emily's presence. We haven't really started yet, but I'm thinking we should go big. Music, crafts, the whole shebang. We'll help you, right, Ben? Emily asked, giving him a wink. Yeah. Ben cheered. Can I have a bounce house, please? Jessie chuckled. But inside, the gears were turning. A bounce house could be great for kids, and we'll need volunteers, a lot of help. Maybe we can make it a community project? Emily's eyes lit up. Exactly. Imagine everyone coming together for something awesome. It's a perfect way to wrap Naomi Springs' spirit around the entire festival. Jessie felt a warmth spreading through her chest. Maybe creating space for her dreams didn't mean neglecting Ben. It could mean involving him, sharing the experience together. As the sun set, illuminating the skies in shades of pink and orange, Jessie gathered her belongings. I think I'm ready to meet with Donna tonight. Whatever she has in mind, I have a feeling it's exactly what we need. Ben tugged her hand as they walked home, sleeping bags in hand. Can I help you with the festival? Like, really help? Absolutely, sweetheart. We'll make it our project. As they stepped inside their house, Jessie felt the warmth of possibility wrapping around her like a cozy blanket. Tonight could be a turning point, the first step into something she yearned for. She hesitated only a moment before grabbing her phone. The message waited, full of promise. What new chapter was waiting just beyond the horizon? One simple meeting could change everything. But was she truly ready to uncover the possibilities that lay in the unknown? The evening air was thick with anticipation as Jessie paced her small living room, the feel of the hardwood floor cool beneath her bare feet. The phone in her hand felt heavier than it should. She glanced down at the screen again, a simple notification, a reminder of the meeting with Donna. Jessie could feel her heart thumping louder, like it was trying to push through her chest. What was in store for her? Ben called from his room, the sound of Legos scattering revealing his enthusiasm as he toiled away on another big project. Mommy, look, I'm building a spaceship. His voice pierced through her thoughts, a reminder of how simple joy could exist within the noise of an uncertain world. Sounds amazing, buddy, Jessie replied, forcing a smile. Yet her mind kept flickering back to Donna. Were they really going to talk about the festival? Or was there a bigger opportunity waiting for her? She took a deep breath, feeling the nurturing warmth of motherhood wrestle with her desire for something beyond her current life. Maybe it was time to stop dreaming and start doing. Wiping her hands on her jeans, she slid the phone into her pocket and walked over to Ben's room. Can I help? She asked, watching him connect pieces with that blissful focus only kids possess. Yeah. Can you find the green block? It's super important. He kicked his feet back and grinned, his little brow furrowed in concentration. Jessie knelt beside him, helping him search the colorful chaos spread across the floor. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, she found a kind of peace in this moment, laughter and determination mixing like the colors around them. Maybe they were on the brink of something new together. Got it. She held up the green block, and his face lit up like a Christmas tree. Yes. Now we can go to space. He cheered. Each cheer felt a little more like encouragement to Jessie. Wasn't that all she wanted for Ben? To create a world full of possibilities. Perhaps she could do the same step into unknown territories herself. After the spaceship launch, the clock ticked closer to her meeting time. Jessie grabbed the bag she had prepped with a notebook and her favorite pen. She needed to focus, to be present. As she approached the door, Ben looked up at her with wide eyes. You'll be home soon, right? Of course, sweetheart. I won't be long, she promised, wrapping him in a hug, and we'll have a blast planning the festival together. He nodded, but his gaze lingered, as if he could sense the weight of her thoughts. You can do it, Mommy. I believe in you. His words wrapped around her heart like a warm hug, igniting a spark of courage within. Thank you, Ben. I'll do my best, she assured him and stepped out the door. The drive to the cafe was short, but each passing moment felt weighty with possibilities. She parked and walked inside, feeling the hum of the conversation around her. Donna was already sitting at the table, her usual bright smile softened by the glow of the overhead lights. Hey, Jessie. Glad you could make it, Donna chirped, standing to wrap her into a quick hug. Thanks for inviting me, Jessie replied, her stomach fluttering nervously. As they sat down, Donna wasted no time. I've been thinking a lot about the festival, but also some opportunities for you. The words hung in the air, promising more than she dared expect. Jessie's pulse quickened. What could this mean? Was it just about the festival? Or was there something bigger at play? Jessie, What if I told you I know a local producer looking for fresh ideas like unique events to showcase? Donna leaned closer, her excitement palpable. Jessie's breath caught, a mix of hope and fear cascading through her. Do you think I could really? The conversation faded into the background as Jessie felt something shifting inside her, the whisper of her own dreams merging with newfound possibilities. But as the weight of choices pressed down, she faced a daunting reality. Was she truly ready to pursue this path? Just then, the cafe door swung open, rattling her focus. A man rushed in, damp from the rain, shaking off water while scanning the room. Their eyes caught briefly, stirring something deep within her, like his startled presence was a sign. What if tonight didn't just change her life, but also connected her with something much more unexpected? The moment lingered as Jessie's heart raced, captivated by the stranger's entrance. He was disheveled but had an air of confidence that piqued her curiosity. He had bright blue eyes that seemed to shimmer even in the dim cafe light, and his glance landed on Jessie like a feather brushing against the skin. Noticing him, she felt a wave of emotions surge, nervousness mixed with something else, something she couldn't quite place. "Sorry about that," he said, giving a sheepish smile as he approached the counter to order a coffee. Jessie's mind began to wander, the distractions of coffee machines and clinking cups fuzzing her thoughts about the meeting. "Anyway," Donna said, pulling Jessie back from her reverie, "this opportunity could really be a game-changer for you." Jessie nodded, though her attention was split between Donna's words and the mysterious man who was now seated at a table nearby, the steam from his cup curling towards the ceiling. "What kind of ideas are they looking for?" she asked, trying to refocus. "Well, events that promote the community, local work, things that make connections. I really think you could bring something fresh. You've always had a knack for gathering people." Donna's enthusiasm was infectious. The prospect of realization loomed before Jessie, sending a renewed flutter through her heart. "Do you really think someone like me can pull it off?" The weight of self-doubt crept in despite Donna's confidence. Just then, she noticed the stranger looking up from his coffee, giving her a concerned look. "Absolutely. You just need to believe in yourself. You have that spark, Jessie. Look at how you brought in the kids' art show last month." As she sat listening, Jessie couldn't shake the feeling that the stranger's presence was significant. Maybe he would be part of her journey, she thought. The idea made her both excited and anxious. "Let us brainstorm together," Donna suggested, pulling out her notepad. "What if we focus on blending art with community events? There's so much potential." Jessie took a deep breath, nodding. Just as she leaned in to share her thoughts, another interruption arrived. The stranger stood up, casually strolling over to their table. "Sorry to intrude, but I couldn't help but overhear a community event," he said, a friendly smile lighting up his face. "I'm Jason, by the way." Jessie blinked, her heart skipping a beat. This was not part of the plan. Yes, we were just discussing a festival," she managed to stammer out, caught off guard. "That sounds amazing. I'm actually an event planner myself. Maybe I could help?" His presence was magnetic, and Jessie's breath caught in her throat. "What are the odds?" Donna exclaimed, clearly intrigued. You could really help her get the ball rolling. Jessie felt a rush of possibilities surge in her chest, excitement bubbling within her. Was the universe really pushing her in this direction? She opened her mouth, about to speak, but before she could, another idea shot through her. "Actually," Jessie said slowly, forming a plan already in her mind, "what if we host a collaboration, a community art festival that connects local artists with emerging talent?" Jason's eyes lit up, along with Donna's, and a tiny flame of hope ignited. Jessie felt an exhilarating rush, the kind that pulled you toward the edge of a cliff, waiting to leap. "Count me in," Jason replied, and Jessie could see the validation in his expression. That spark she had felt in snippets now fanned into a flame, the thrill igniting her desire to create. Just as the weight of their plans settled in, Jessie heard her phone buzz in her pocket. Pulling it out, she wasn't prepared for the text that lit up the screen. A message from Ben that read, "I'm getting tired. When are you coming home?" For a moment, the responsibilities of motherhood snapped back into focus. The excitement of the festival collided with the reality of her life, endless decisions emerging along the horizon. Could she juggle it all? Hey! Jason broke into her thoughts. Are you okay? You seem distracted. The heat of uncertainty settled deeper. Could she truly embark on this shared journey? Or was it just a fleeting moment of bravado? Jessie took a deep breath, meeting Jason's gaze. I think this could really work. I'm just figuring out how. Time stood still. The world outside blurred into the background. In this moment, beneath the flickering lights and the scent of coffee, possibility glimmered bright. But could she truly embrace this new path? One that would require sacrificing parts of her former life? The cafe door swung open once more, drawing her attention away. Jessie turned to see Ben standing there, mischievous grin plastered on his face. He had followed her here, ready for an adventure of his own. But did she have room for two adventures in her heart? Jessie's heart dropped as she locked eyes with Ben, his presence suddenly shifting the air around her. The cafe felt both small and overwhelmingly expansive at that moment. His casual demeanor, with tousled hair and a playful expression, didn't he disguise the storm brewing within her? Ben was never the flexible type. He was routine, dependability personified. Hey there, Ben called out, walking up to their table. He threw an arm around Jessie, pulling her into a quick side hug. Hi, Ben, she replied, trying to muster some normalcy in her voice. Jason cleared his throat, extending his hand. I'm Jason. Nice to meet you, he said, his smile still radiating warmth. Ben shook Jason's hand but didn't he hide his skepticism. Event planner, huh? You're sure you're not just here to, steal ideas or something? Ben's tone was half joking, but Jessie sensed the note of cautious scrutiny. That's not my plan. Jason laughed lightly, flashing a reassuring grin at Jessie. I'm here to help Jessie bring her community festival vision to life. Community festival? Ben raised an eyebrow, his attention shifting to Jessie. What's this about? It's just a little idea, Jessie answered, her heartbeat racing. We were thinking about creating a platform for local artists and connecting the community through art. Could really make a difference. Jessie's enthusiasm bubbled over, but beneath it, anxiety brewed. She wanted to share this adventure with Ben, wanted him to support her, but would he? Would he see it as an extra responsibility rather than an opportunity? I mean, that sounds interesting, he replied slowly, his brows knitting together. But do you really think you can handle that on top of everything else? She felt the air thicken as she wrestled with his words. Was he really doubting her? I can manage it, Jessie said defensively, a flare of determination rising in her chest. It's time I do something for myself too, not just for the family. Jason watched the back and forth, the tension palpable. It'll be teamwork, he chimed in. With more hands involved, it'll be much easier. Jessie felt Jason's encouragement wrap around her like a warm blanket. It felt right to dive into this project, to unite passions and foster creativity in her community. Plus, Jason added with a grin, art can spark connection, and we could really use more of that right now. Ben shifted, still unconvinced. Art's great, but you're a mom first. What about the kids? They need you too. Jessie's chest tightened. How could she explain? Saint or sinner, she felt stuck in the confines of her role. All the recent late nights spent working on the kids' school projects knotted her stomach. Was there a space for her own passions amidst the prioritization of her family responsibilities? I understand what you mean, but I need to grow too, Jessie said, her voice steady despite the churn within. If I don't take this leap of faith now, will I ever? I want to show the kids it's possible. Ben's expression softened slightly, a mix of understanding and concern crossing his face. Okay, I get that, but you really need to think this through. Before she could reply, Ben's phone buzzed, and he glanced down to check a text. His face froze and Jessie's stomach dropped. What? Ben, what is it? It's my sister, he murmured, eyes wide. She just uninvited me to the wedding. Apparently, I'm not on the guest list anymore. Jessie's mind spun. What? Why? It's complicated, he began, but the words faded as a shadow of hurt crossed his face. Suddenly, Jessie understood that Ben's own adventure was spiraling unexpectedly. While she was focusing on her path, his world was also shifting beneath him. "Do you want to talk about it?" She instinctively reached out, sensing his vulnerability without fully knowing how deeply it connected to her own choices. As Ben opened up about his feelings, Jessie's heart swelled. She wanted to be there for him, but a nagging thought remained. With all these emotions unfolding, could she truly juggle his turmoil and her blossoming idea? "I'm sorry, but right now I have to focus on the festival," Jessie said softly. Jason glanced between them, aware of the bond tightened by the shared weight of their circumstances. Ben took a breath, the conflict evident in his eyes. "I'll support you," he said quietly, his voice tinged with determination. "But don't forget about us either." The implication hung heavy in the air, a combination of tension and hope. Jessie felt the world narrow to their small table, a weighty silence electrifying the moment. Can dreams and responsibilities coexist, or would one inevitably give way to the other? As that question loomed, a passing waiter caught her eye, his name tag reading, Aiden. What was it about that name that sent a shiver down her spine? The universe felt charged with possibilities, and Jessie was standing at the crossroads of her life. Again, what would the next step reveal? Ben's gaze drifted away from her, lost in a haze of disappointment and confusion. Jessie couldn't shake the weight of his words. His sister had uninvited him, and she knew that sting of rejection all too well. The festival felt like a climb toward her own dreams, yet Ben's hurt wrapped around her like a vice. Seeing the vulnerability etched across Ben's face struck Jessie right in the heart. It wasn't just about her work or the festival. It was about this moment together, the moments that were supposed to matter, the support they were supposed to lend one another. She realized then she had to choose her path carefully. "Ben," she started, her voice soft as if treading on glass, "I know this must be really tough for you." "Yeah," he sighed, rubbing the back of his neck, his shoulders heavy with unspoken emotions. "It's frustrating. Family is supposed to be there for you, right?" Jessie nodded, feeling her own frustration bubble to the surface. She wanted to scream, to throw everything off the table and dive headfirst into a fight about why it all felt so unfair. Instead, she took a deep breath and forced a smile. "You're right. They should be." Jason watched them, sensing the delicate balance crumbling between Jessie and Ben. "Maybe this is a good time to focus on what's important," he suggested, his tone casual yet loaded with meaning. "Ben, what are you going to do now?" Ben shifted in his seat, his eyes clouded with thoughts. "I don't know. Maybe talk to her again? I mean, I've always got my mom telling me how to fix things." But sometimes he trailed off, a flicker of doubt crossing his features. "Sometimes it feels like you can't do anything right," Jessie offered, her own heartache intertwining with his. She thought of the late nights she spent trying to meet everyone's needs, how often she felt backed into a corner, and how easy it was to just give up. "Trust me, I get it. Seems like you're both dealing with some heavy stuff," Jason chimed in gently. "It's okay to not have all the answers right now. But we need to be there for each other," Jessie insisted, her voice softening. "We're on this journey together, remember?" Ben looked at her, surprised by the depth of her words. "I don't want to be a burden." "Then don't make yourself one," Jessie replied. "Talk to me. Just don't expect me to have all the answers. I'm still figuring this out myself." As if on cue, the cafe door swung open, ushering in a burst of cold air that sent chills down Jessie's spine. A man walked in, brushing past with an air of confidence that seemed to light up the room. His name tag caught her attention, Aiden. The shiver returned, this time sharper, more electric. "Who's that?" Ben asked, his instinctive jealousy rising as he followed her stare. Jessie's cheeks flushed. "I have no idea. But something about Aiden, his energy, screamed opportunity and new beginnings." Jason scanned the newcomer with curiosity. "I don't know, but he looks interesting." Jessie did her best to shake off the distraction. "We're talking about you right now, Ben. What's next for you?" He met her eyes, and in that moment, Jessie saw a flicker of hope. "Maybe I'll take a road trip. Clear my head. My sister lives in California, and I was always kind of curious about that place. California? Jessie couldn't hide her excitement. That could be exactly what you need. You can come back with a fresh perspective. Yeah. It could be great, he agreed slowly, still feeling the weight of his sister's rejection but a hint of a smile breaking through. Jason interjected, "There you go. Don't bottle it up. Spill it out. You'll figure it out." Just then, Aiden caught Jessie's eye, offering a friendly nod. She felt an inexplicable connection, a whisper of possibility weaving through the tension at the table. Maybe this festival is the start of something bigger. For all of us, Jessie suddenly felt brave enough to say, "What if we all need a little adventure?" Ben's brow furrowed, but the flicker of excitement returned to his eyes. "Adventure, huh? I like that." A chorus of laughs eased the tension drifting in the air, and Jessie couldn't help but feel the universe shift just slightly in their favor. But as the energy lightened, that question lingered in the back of her mind. Was she truly ready to explore her own adventure? Jessie looked to Ben, whose gaze was now fixed on Aiden. Was the thrill of new beginnings pulling him in a direction he wasn't ready for? And was she prepared to face her own journey alongside him? Or was she inadvertently setting sail alone? With the waves of change crashing in, the next step felt like stepping into the unknown. What would it mean for all of them? The question lingers, echoing with promises of new paths yet to be explored. Jessie leaned back in her chair, her heart racing with the weight of unresolved emotions swirling around her. Aiden's presence lingered in the air, even as he chatted casually with a group across the room, laughter erupting like shining fireworks. There was a spark of something new and vibrant within her, but the past still gripped tightly at her heart. "Mom!" Ben's voice called, snapping her from her daze. "Can we get ice cream after this?" "Sure, buddy," she said, forcing a brightness into her tone. His innocent excitement tugged at her heart, grounding her in the moment. "We'll celebrate your new adventure." Ben beamed at her, and a gentle warmth surged within Jessie. "About that adventure, have you thought more about California?" she asked, hoping to guide the conversation back to his dream. "Yeah, I just wonder if I'll really fit in there." His shoulders slumped momentarily, vulnerability creeping back. "Fit in?" Jessie echoed, the words stirring her own feelings. "Ben, you belong wherever you want to be. Just think of it as an adventure, one step at a time." Jason nodded, adding, "And every adventure takes a bit of courage. Just like Jessie is stepping into hers." Jessie felt her pulse quicken again, but this time with clarity instead of anxiety. "What we want matters too, you know. It's okay to chase what makes us happy. And the best part? You don't have to do it alone, right?" Ben's eyes lit up slightly. "We can tackle it all together." A cheer erupted in the cafe as a table nearby toasted to good vibes, filling Jessie's heart with the spirit of connection she had yearned for. "Exactly. We're family, and family supports each other," she echoed, feeling the truth of her words sink in. Just then, Aiden glanced over, his bright eyes catching hers, and Jessie managed a smile that felt freer than it had moments before. She felt lighter. Uncertainty began to untangle itself from her heartstrings. "Listen," she began, looking back at Ben and Jason, "let us make a pact. No matter what happens, we'll chase these dreams while being there for each other." Her words hung in the air, full of promise. Ben's expression morphed into one of fierce determination, nodding slowly as he absorbed what she was saying. "I like that. Me too. And I can help you, Ben. We can set goals for our adventures, and check in frequently," Jason added, a thoughtful smile on his face. The trio exchanged excited glances, a hood of shared understanding wrapping around them. The fear that had coiled tightly in Jessie's chest began to unravel. Each step she'd taken toward creating this community event felt less daunting, and she felt herself leaning into the idea of the festival more than ever. Then Aiden stood, his coffee cup in hand, making his way toward their table. "Hey, I heard you're planning an event. I'd love to hear what you're thinking." Chills ran up Jessie's arms, threading with anxiety and excitement. A spark of possibility flickered within her. Was this the moment? Actually, Jessie started, confidence building in her voice. We want to throw a community art festival to connect people through creativity. What do you think? Sounds incredible. Aiden's grin spread wider. I'd love to be involved. Maybe even help with logistics. Jessie felt her heart soar. You could really do that. Definitely. Just tell me when and where to show up. Suddenly, Jessie felt the vibrant connection they had all been missing surge forth like a tide of warmth, engulfing Ben and Jason's excitement as well. It was happening. The festival was no longer just a dream. It was becoming a reality. And who knows? Aiden added with a twinkle in his eye. Maybe a collaboration could blossom from this. I know a few local artists who might want to showcase their work too. Perfect, Jessie exclaimed, heart racing. Would sharing this endeavor bring them closer together, or would it distance her from her family? The connection felt electric. It was unfolding as she stood on the brink of something new, and she soaked in every moment. With their spirits buoyed by laughter and joy, they all shared ideas, excitement bubbling around the table like an overflowing fountain. Each suggestion was a stepping stone, leading them deeper into uncharted territory, their fears melting into visions of a brighter tomorrow as they put together the building blocks for the festival. Jessie felt the warmth of possibility wrap around her like a quilt, stitched from threads of encouragement and support. The doubts that had haunted her began to fade, replaced with unyielding strength. She realized that this juxtaposition of dreams and motherhood didn't just exist outside of her current life. It could weave seamlessly together into something beautiful. On the way out, Ben tugged at Jessie's sleeve. "Mom," he whispered, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "Does this mean I can stay up late working on my spaceship ideas too? Just like you?" "Absolutely," Jessie replied, bursting with pride. "Let us make this a team endeavor. We can tackle it all side by side." As they strolled under the twinkling stars, Jessie took a deep breath, feeling lighter and freer than ever. She understood now that the road would be paved with challenges, but it was also filled with moments of joy, connection, and love, moments that mattered. Tomorrow would bring uncertainties, but tonight, they had stepped forward together, opening doors to endless possibilities, crafting futures made from the vibrant fabric of community, dreams, and above all, family. Her heart swelled with warmth, knowing this was just the beginning of a fresh start. Not just for herself, but for them all. It was time to embrace it fully. Every moment mattered. Every step was a chance for transformation. And with her son by her side, she truly believed they could conquer anything. And with that burning spirit ignited deep within her, Jessie stepped into the future she had only dared to dream about, but now felt tangible and incredibly close, ready to seize every opportunity that came her way. If you enjoyed Jessie's journey of self-discovery and want to witness more incredible transformations, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. So don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Together, we can continue uncovering amazing stories.